Oh, yeah. Na, 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 na. I used to spend my hours trying to map out a stranger's soul, ignoring all the fragments that would make my spirit whole. But I pivoted inward to the center of the dark, and found a silent ember that was waiting for a spark. It's a world I never knew, but it was always sitting there. A frequency of freedom vibing through the heavy air. It cannot be acquired with the silver or the gold. It's a story of the ancient that has never yet been told. I stumbled on a kingdom where the love is getting free. A mirror reflecting back the truth of who I'm meant to be. No longer defined by the borders or the names. I stepped outside the circle and I stepped inside the flames. It's heaven on earth.
Wow, this has truly been a journey. Welcome to episode 3. I'm gonna try this again. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but I'm almost to the point that I'm like, maybe it's not supposed to be episode 3. But I don't want to think that, because it was coming to fruition pretty well until here lately. But I do realize that, sometimes you might think it's time for something, but it might not be in the universal timing. So this is what I'm realizing with episode 3. So I'm going to make this attempt again to get it done. It's been a long journey. I know you all don't hear much from me, but I realized that I had to take a step back and really be to myself and go in deep. And this episode 3 is truly from within, from deep down. Really looking at the, trials and tribulations. I know I've talked about some of my journey through life, on this YouTube platform. Maybe not all in depth, but I'm sure I gave you all enough to understand that EyeRose journey hasn't been an easy one. We have had heartaches, pains, loss, and all kinds of stuff going on. Betrayal, you name it. I feel like I've been through it. So this is where a lot of my songs come from, relating to Job and Shadrach, Meshach, and the Bendigo, and Jonah in the belly of the whales. That I feel like I've been through it all. But I thank God that I'm still here. I'm still breathing. And at this point in my life, I can, look back and smile a little bit, because I see how far I've been brought. I would say I see how far I have come, thanks to God and my angels and ancestors. And I see the growth within myself. And I can say, though, as they say at church, I might not be where I want to be, but I can truly say I'm not where I used to be. Wow. So this is some of the gratitude that I express in my songs as well, because shoot, we've been in the dark and the dust and the gloom and all that. But God has brought us through the light. He has showed us what all of that was all about. And what I realize is, a lot of times when people mean it for your bad, God works it out for your good, and though I know people was trying to really take me down, to push me into somebody that I didn't want to become, and felt like I was almost becoming that because, people was truly provoking me with my livelihood, with my property, and God knows my child. And that really, took me for a loop. And my vehicles and all that, things that I dependent on to survive, especially, having to fight for all of it, really all at once. During the time that I lost my child, I was fighting for my property, going through issues with these neighbors, with them tampering with my vehicle, all kinds of stuff, issues with family. So it all was weighing down on me at one time. And what I realized, that I was carrying a lot, and I had a lot of rage deep down inside of me from dealing with all of that stuff. And I had to really take time to sit back and look and digest it all to help me to see the light through it. And understand what it was for. It wasn't, though other people meant it for my bad, it was really for my good, because in going through all that, it made me see what truly could come up out of me. And it wasn't nothing nice. It's not cousin Walter was saying. It wasn't nice at all. And I'm going to be honest, I seen the demon rearing up in me, ready to war. So I had to really grab a hold of that, because I understood that with me bringing that fight out of me, that was what the people wanted. That was why they was fighting me so hard, because they wanted to push me to a point where I caused a destruction for myself. And therefore, they would be able to gain what they was after all along. And I had to understand that. And, really get to a point where I had to go within and find myself, I would say. So this is why this episode is called Anchored My Soul and Returning to My True Self, because I realized I lost myself in the midst of the shadow. Because, I felt like I was tired of being Miss Nice. I felt like, let me start being like these people want to be, demons. But I realized that wasn't the answer. That wasn't what I truly want, because what I do realize is, everybody get what their hands call for. And when you do wrong and ill to people, it comes back to you. Maybe not from that person, but the universe and God and the angels got you. So I didn't want that to fall on me. So I really had to really look at myself and grab a hold of myself and really go within, meditate, create. That helped me a lot. A lot of the songs that I created, that was a way of me getting, out what I was fighting against, and my way of calling out to the angels and ancestors, asking them to anchor me. Because it wasn't that I didn't believe and trust in them, but I just felt like, Lord, I know you got me, but can I stand until you throw in your anchor? So when you listen to these songs, understand it's definitely coming from deep down in, Like I said, I felt like Jonah. I felt like Job. I felt like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the midst of the fire. But I always knew that God was truly true because He done showed me too many times. And I had to revert back on what I know is true. And so this is what, I'm speaking of in this episode. How I was able to push through the fight. It took a lot of, praying, reading, meditating, all that I can find and muster up within me to keep me from doing what I truly wanted to do. And I'm just thankful to God because I would have gave the enemy what he wanted. He wanted to be able to say she just as much as a demon as we are. And I'm not trying to be that, so I had to learn to let, God fight my battle, let the divine fight my battle, focus on positivity, focus on my creating, take that pain and turn it into the light. And this is what I happen to do through my creations, songs, and really I knew I had I would say music within me. I've been in the entertainment field with my children and helping them and promoting them and that type, and even instrumental and guiding them through their music and writing and stuff like that. But I knew I wrote poems and stuff, but I never saw me really writing my own songs. And thank God, to the app, Sona Music, helping me really to produce it. But these are my words. I did choose, the genres I wanted to use, the vibe I wanted to use, and all that. And I was very satisfied with a lot of the production that came out of that app. Some reason I lost access to it, but I'm going to trust that God going to work it out, and it might be a way that I got to start really trying to produce my own. But I've always been into music, love music, even if it was just listening to it or whatever. So that's just a part of me, and it's like a healing to me as well. And I'm as I've been going through this journey, I'm learning that is, a part of my healing journey, music and stuff. So I pray that, the songs that I've produced help a lot of you through your journeys. But what I've learned through this journey is, instead of fighting against what was going on in my life, I had to learn to surrender, to find peace within, in the midst of my storms. And at one time I was like, how do you find peace when it seemed like everybody coming against you, everybody trying to do stuff to disturb your peace? But what I come to realize is you have to learn how to block out that which they are doing to you and focus on what makes you happy, what brings that joy to you. And what I found out was getting back into my creativity, designing, y'all know I design my sneakers, and I'm gonna get back into promoting them. My graphic design, creating these videos, the stories, and the music, all of that helped me to really start seeing that what I at one time was fighting against was nowhere near as important as the things that I receive when I create, the peace I receive when I create, the joy I receive when I create, the happiness I receive when I create. So I had to go within and stay focused on that type of stuff. And it helped a lot, it helped a lot. So in episode 3, I'm just gonna discuss, what it felt like, what helped me through my journeys, and a lot of it, was like I said, I was doing a lot of readings, and the things that was coming through was exactly what I need. That's needed. One day I'm just going through something, and I picked up the Bible, and I ran into, Vexatious people, and how, you can't fight fire with fire, you have to, just send out peace regardless of what they send out love. And I couldn't understand how you send out love when everybody's sending hate towards you. But what came to me when I ran across Rikbiel, the Archangel Rikbiel, and it might have not been, it was another reading I had did, but it was saying that, and it could have been Rikbiel, it was saying that what you have to do is look at these people that is trying to bring harm to you, that is, trying to cause harm to you by lying, manipulating, portraying you and all that stuff. You have to look at them as children. When children cut up and act up and fall out, we would want to whoop their butt, but at the same time, we don't try not to get too upset with them, because we understand they are children and they don't know no better. And sometimes, we have to look at, people, adults like that too, because a lot of times, if they knew better, they would do better. And a lot of times is they're going through something, they're unhappy, and they're trying to put their unhappiness and the disturbance of their peace on you, inflicted on you. As they said, misery loves company. And sometimes they don't know better. This is what they learned, and they don't know how to treat people as if they would want to be treated. And I know that's the saying I came up with, do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. And I took a lot of that very serious, as a young kid, thinking this is how everybody thought, this was how the world thought, until I end up having to, be out here in the world and realize that everybody ain't nice. And I ran into a saying by the AI, it was an AI on TikTok. It seemed like the older lady, but I believe it was AI generated. But she was saying, you gotta stop being nice. Not saying that you gotta be out here being ill to people and treating people nasty and stuff, but you gotta let people earn your niceness. Because everybody don't know how to receive nice. So when we let them earn it, show us that they deserve your niceness, you don't get hurt behind, and that's what a big lesson I had to learn in all of this, even when people was doing me wrong, I still want to try to overlook them and, find some kind of excuse for them other than that they just want to be vindictive and mean and evil at that moment. Not judging them, but whatever it was in their spirit. that was pushing them to do that. That's what it is. And when you see that type of stuff, instead of letting it make you become that, you have to pull yourself away from it as well as your spirit. You can't let it get in your spirit. And that's what I realized I was allowing it to get in my spirit to the point it was irritating me and making me want to go at them, making me want to give them what they was giving me. But it takes me back to a saying that I grew up, two wrongs don't make a right. And even though it might feel right, because sometimes I was like, man, please let me get them what they giving me. I'll feel better. But it might feel okay at the time. But as I said, what you do comes back to you. So we have to learn compassion, as Rikbiel saying, and not compassion in the way that we just letting people get away with, just doing us any kind of way, but the compassion in which you say, okay, this is what it is. I'm not gonna let this anger me and get me all messed up and worked up and all that and wanting to, give them back what they ain't giving to me. But instead, I'm gonna recognize what it is. Oh, this is what it is. Okay, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for showing me. And let me move on out your way. Because that's not the energy I want to be in. So, and it's not an easy lesson. Believe you me. Believe me. It took a lot to get me to this point. But I am so happy that I'm at this point. And believe me, there's still stuff that go on. But I have gotten to a point where I'm learning not to really let it penetrate me. I acknowledge it. I see what it is. I acknowledge the hurt and pain it brings to me. And immediately I understand that this is not where I want to be. So these are some people I need to stay away from because I don't need that energy on me. So I'm learning to watch who I give my energy to and watch who I allow my energy around, because it's really important, especially if you're an empath. And I am an empath. I pick up on my energies very easily. So I'm learning, when I pick up on it, believe it and move out the way. It just reminded me of a song. I don't think something move out the way. So well, I can't remember it, but I remember the children singing it a lot. But so this is where we're at in this journey right now, and this is what episode 3 is talking about, and it's really talking about the gratitude of getting to this point where I'm at now. And there's it's a blessing to be able to, even though you still have all kinds of chaos around you, but being able to feel that peace, being able to feel that joy, even in the midst. And this is what I call heaven on earth. Being able to still be happy, still be in your joy, even if you're alone in your joy, That's heaven on earth, knowing how to block out all the chaos and still have peace. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to let my songs talk to you and let you know how to move through these energies and stuff. And I'm going to come back and give you a few, a little wisdom that I acquired through this journey, and what helps me. So I pray that this episode help you all, and I believe this will be the end of my journey of the shadow. I believe we are emerging into the light, and I'm going to continue to stay focused on the light, even with all the shadows around me. You know, I have learned not to let them penetrate my energy, because there's still some things going on, but God got it. That's the way I looked at it, and I just have to stay positive, keep my energy high. You know, I always love this book called As a Man Thinketh, So Shall It Be. So I'm trying to make sure I guide my thoughts. So enjoy the music, and I hope you get out of it what I have gotten out of it. You know, these songs have helped me a lot. Yes, express what was inside. Yeah. Thank you, and I will be back.
This tide of emotions deep, ready to swallow me whole. Secrets I desperately keep. Oh, but the weariness in my limbs can't muster the might to hold on till your anchor comes and guide me through.
As I'm listening to this song, not only do I reflect on the turbulence I've emerged through, I reflect on the turbulence many of my rosebuds and the world is pushing through at this time. I say to us all, though the tides may be high and rough, stay focused on the light and know that your anchor is shifting the waters. Stay tuned for the sails to safety that eventually leads to safe shores. Episode 3 is setting sail.
Your anchored bridge, your saving power. I need you now. Lord, I need you now. Anchor my soul, please anchor my soul beneath your guiding light
Through the scorching heat of the blinding fire, through the bitter words of the cynic's choir, through the cold betrayal and the darkest night, I held my ground and I kept my sight. I knew the delivery was coming for me, like dawn rising from the deep blue sea, from the belly of the whale to the sandy shore. I found a strength I never knew before, like Joe, who lost the fields and the gold, a story of a spirit that could not be sold. I stood in the ashes with a heavy heart, but I knew the ending was a brand new start. I am the rose with the sharpest thorns, weathering the thunder and the winter storms. My roots are deep in my holy ground, where the grace of the heavens can be found. I will rise through a million tears, conquering the shadows and the silent fears, emerge from the fire and the pouring rain. EyeRose is the name and love is the brain. where the flames grow tall like Shadrach and Meshach. I did not fall. With a Abednego standing by my side, we had a faith that the fire couldn't hide. Resilience of the one who carried the cross, finding the gain inside of the Lord. Falling on my knees in the quiet hour, connected to the source of a higher power. It whispers deep in the soul of my being, beyond the sight of what the eyes are seeing. You are protected by the thorns you wear from the hands of those who offer no care. So please don't despair when the clouds turn gray. The rain is only washing the dust away. It nourishes the spirit and it helps you grow into a beauty that you're meant to show. The sun is coming to ensure the bloom, to break the silence and the heavy gloom. Back-to-back trials, but I'm still alive, filled with the hunger and the will to survive. I am the rose with the sharpest thorns, there in the thunder and the winter storm. My roots are deep in the holy ground, where the grace of the heavens can be found. I realize millions years, conquering the shadows and the silent fears, emerge from the fire and the pouring rain. Rose is the name and love is the rain. Through the fire and the deep betrayal, I have found the light of a brand new day. No longer hidden, no longer in pain. That's me back in my golden rain. Emergency, morning dawn. EyeRose is the only name I know. I spend my seasons looking through the eyes of someone else, trading pieces of my spirit just to find a sense of self. But in the quiet of the transition, I stumbled on a gate, a world that isn't bought or sold and doesn't know of hate. It's a frequency of freedom where the labels fall away. No color, age, or border in the light of perfect day. I found a hidden kingdom that was waiting deep inside, a sanctuary for the soul where truth and grace abide. It's heaven on earth, a soulful proclaim, beyond the sky and the clouds and the rain. Not a pie in the sky that we wait for to die, but a renewing of mind where the spirit can fly. Divine orderly, a heart that is free in the surrender. I'm learning to be. This isn't made of gold or silver, earthly value fails. It's found within the stillness where the holy wind prevails, transcending space and time. It's a love without a thought, the kind of peace and mercy that can never quite be bought. I'm transforming in the energy of precisely designed plan, moving far beyond the reaching of a temporary man, regardless of the chaos that is residing just outside. There is a peace within the center where the light and I collide. It's heaven on earth, a soulful proclaim, beyond the
It belongs to every soul who lets the great designer come and finally take control. Renewed and transformed into a brand new state of mind, leaving all the heavy burdens of the world so far behind. It's heaven on earth, a soulful proclaim, beyond the sky and the clouds and the rain. Not a pie in the sky that we wait for to die, but a renewing of mind where the spirit can fly. Divine order leading a heart that is free in the surrender. I'm learning to be. I'm surrendering to the order. I'm crossing over the border. Heaven on earth, felt invisible, so beautiful, so believable. Just willing to be totally free.
I noticed in my description of Rikbiel off the top of my head, I was very close. But I'm going to give you some messages from the Archangel Fire Oracle deck by Alexandria Winman, pertaining to the card number 11, Rikbiel Compassion. And it says that Rikbiel is the chief of the divine chariot and is known as the power of love. And there's a message that says, no matter how badly others behave, try to see through the eyes of compassion. Treat others as you wish to be treated and promote harmonious relationships. Sometimes it's challenging to feel compassion for others, especially when they seem to be doing all in their power to make you feel otherwise. But a simple exercise to see the child within. When a child throws a tantrum, you may feel your patience wearing thin, but you have passion for them. If you can look beyond the bad behavior of adults and understand the underlying cause in the same way you look at children, then a whole world of compassion opens up for you. And it offers some humor so you can see the funny side. Most people are too busy trying to deal with their own emotions to worry about what impact their behavior is having on others. So instead of reacting rashly, try to view the situation with compassion. If you can't do it in the heat of the moment, take a step back and remove yourself from the situation until you have calmed down. Have compassion for yourself too. Remember, most people are doing the best they can with the tools they have. And that is from Archangel Rikbiel. As I end this episode 3, Anchor My Soul, returning to my true self, I'm going to leave you with this message from the Oracle card from the Isis Oracle deck called Pyramid of Light. Psychic Protection. Step your vibration deeper into love. As a being growing in significant light, darker energy can become more attracted to you. There is nothing to fear and only more mastery and awareness of the power and protection of divine love to experience. Here is guidance on the skills. Here is guidance on the skills you have within you now to deal with any undesired interference. The pyramid of light confirms that energies have been causing interference with your path, and it is time now to end that interference with love and compassion. This oracle brings you confirmation that you are growing spiritually, and as such, there are higher levels of responsibility and skill required of you to continue to thrive and blossom to even deeper places of spiritual expansion. These new levels will feel joyful to you as they bring you to greater personal mastery and freedom from fear. Sometimes when you are growing your light, darker energies become more interested in you. This is nothing to be afraid of because no energy can interfere with you without your permission. And if you have unconsciously given permission by action or deed in this or other lifetimes, you have the free will to withdraw that permission from a place of peace and love within you right now. The key to handling any energy effectively, even that energy which you no longer wish to have connected to your energy field, is to have compassion and respect in your heart, combined with a firm boundary and an understanding of the principles of psychic protection. This is the pyramid of light incantation that you can use to call on the highest psychic protection and cleansing at any time. I am love. I am light. To manage my own energy field, I have every right. Passion, and peace, and strength I am. I witness the dark with peace in my heart. In my energy, there is space only for love. That is unconditional and gentle as the dove. I am unconditional love. I am unconditional love. I am unconditional love. Ashe. The fire.
There's a divine light within you, a flicker, a glow. Those shadows may gather and vexations grow. They whisper their stories, try to dim your flame bright, but the power you carry, it comes from the light. Rise, rosebud, rise, let your petals unfold. A truth in your spirit, more precious than gold. Stand tall in your being, let your essence ignite. This divine light within you, a beautiful sight. The permission was given at the moment of birth to choose your own pathway, to walk on this earth with innate intellect, a wisdom so deep, unfolding the secrets, the promises to keep. Rise, rosebud, rise, let your petals unfold. A truth in your spirit, more precious than gold. Stand tall in your being, let your essence ignite. This divine light within you, a beautiful sight. force you to bend, to hide your own brilliance, or let your light in. Break through the confine, let your spirit take flight, as divine light hits your core, unfolding all open doors. Rise, rosebud, rise, let your petals unfold. A truth in your spirit, more precious than gold. Stand tall in your being, let your essence ignite. This divine light within you, a beautiful sight. Shining through you. There's a divine light within your soul, a sacred spark, a story to unfold. Vexatious shadows may try to dim its gleam, but birthed in truth, you're part of a grander dream. Stand in your light, true and bold, let it rise. No opposition, no stories, divine permission, a truth within your core, unfolding pathways, opening every door. Innate intellect and wisdom, deep and true, to bloom the light within your humble abode anew. Let your spirit soar, don't let them hide its grace. No forced conformity, claim your rightful space. In your light, and let it rise. No opposition, no stories, no disguise. Divine permission, a truth within your core, unfolding pathways, opening every door. Breakthrough, rosebud, let each petal unfold. Your vibrant essence, a story to be told. Allow your divine light to fully bloom and shine. Hidden its core, a destiny divine. Stand your light, truth and more, let it rise. No opposition, no stories, no disguise. Divine permission, a truth within your core, unfolding pathways, opening every door. Yeah. It's a word I never knew, but it was always sitting there. A frequency of freedom vibing through the heavy air. It cannot be acquired with the silver or the gold. It's the story of the ancient that has never yet been told. I stumbled on a kingdom where the love is given free. A mirror reflecting back the truth of who I'm meant to be. No longer defined by the borders or the names. I stepped outside the circle and I stepped inside the flames. It's heaven on earth and it's right inside the mind. A sacred sanctuary that is heavenly divine. Not a pie in the sky or a cloud in the blue, but a peace in the soul that is making me new. Transcending the space and the limits of time. A mountain of grace that we're destined to climb. Visible and felt in the breath that we take. The power of the spirit in the choices we make. There is no color hitting, there is no ticking clock, no ethic identity for the world to try and mock. It's the renewing of the vision and the clearing of the sight, turning every shadow into waves of liquid light. Regardless of the chaos that is howling at the door, I don't have to fight the battles of the ego anymore. Once you truly abide in the order of the high, there isn't any earthly price that could ever hope to buy. This energy is precise and it's perfectly designed to surrender to the rhythm that the universe aligned. You have to be willing just to let the old self die to see the golden kingdom with a clear and open eyes.
We are coming to the closing of episode 3. I'm praying the enlightenment unfolded petal by petal for you, just as it has for me. Understand life as duality. The storms and shadows of life is just as important in your bloom as the light is. It's all about surrendering to the divine order, to enjoy heaven on earth. As above, so is below. Let's continue rising together to create a new heaven here on earth. As we evolve individually, we can shape a profound collective transformation and evolve generations to come.
With a bow of golden light, pushing through the heavy soil to conquer every night. The secrets of a Rikbiel are whispered in the silent breeze. Smooth sailing winds of compassion, calming all the seas. Burning all the ashes of the versions left behind, seeking out the inner peace that only faith can find. Oh, 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 oh. EyeRose, the essence of a blooming crimson soul, burning through the storms until the broken heart. A slow burning flame, but watch out for the rising tide. With the spirit of the oracle and nowhere left to hide, crowned with victory, shining in a golden orange hue. EyeRose rising, making every ancient vision new.
Heaven on earth, and it's right inside the mind. A sacred sanctuary that is heavenly divine. Not a pie in the sky or a cloud in the blue, but a peace in the soul that is making me new. Transcending the space and the limits of time. A mountain of grace that we're destined to climb. Visible and felt in the breath that we take. The power of the spirit in the choices we make. No, no one can claim it as their own or hold it in a fist. It's a soulful proclaim that the skeptics all have missed. It's more than a feeling, it's a visible reality, a fundamental shift in my spiritual mortality. I'll take this any day over the hollow and the fake, drinking from the nectar of the glory in the lake. Totally surrender to the majesty of will, finding all the motion in the center of the still. Heaven felt invisible in every single way. A transformation deep within that's here to stay. Freeing of the mind from the cages of the past. I finally found a treasure that is built to last. Oh, heaven on earth. It's a soulful proclaim. Oh, calling out the spirit by His truth.